Morning, Blue Jays fans, and welcome to Jays Latest. I am your host, Craig Borden, and we are going to talk a walk-off today as the Blue Jays take a big win in the first game of the series against the Arizona Diamondbacks. But we are going to talk some other things first before we get too far into everything. We are going to talk first things, the Rafael Devers trade, because there's some fun things that have come to light in the last 24 hours with what this trade was, how we got there, what the Red Sox might or might not been doing, all that kind of good stuff. So at the end of the day, apparently there's a Blue Jays connection to this trade, and what the trade was possibly entailing was in Rafael Devers eventually coming to the Blue Jays in this trade, but the who they were going to have to give up was very interesting, and I think it's crazy compared to what the you know Giants ended up giving back. But I'm assuming this is the within division tax more than anything. But the Red Sox were knocking on the door asking for Jose Barrios if they were going to do this trade with Rafael Devers. Blue Jays don't have that kind of pitching to give up, not to mention somebody the caliber of Jose Barrios, who is still going to be under team control for a while in this thing. I'm assuming they went after that because it does technically balance the book a little bit on that fact because, Barrios isn't cheap. And he's not cheap for a reason. Same thing as Rafael Devers is one of the higher paid players in baseball, too. You at least get something on an aggregate level in a financial bucket, semi similar, right? But to that point, the Red Sox obviously don't want to do this trade to a certain level as well. They ask for the world and hope for the best, hoping that the Blue Jays would be like, "Oh yeah, no problem, don't worry about it," right? That's the problem with trading within a division. The Blue Jays wouldn't want to keep facing Jose Barrios, and the Red Sox don't want to face Rafael Devers all the time. So this is one of those things that, like I said, you ask for the world and hope for that somebody is that desperate or wants to take it. I'm very glad that if the price of entry was to get Jose Barrios in a Red Sox uniform to get Rafael Devers, I'm kind of happy with the way things currently are. I just really think that was asking for a lot when we are having a problem with trying to keep pitching as well. That's the issue. The Red Sox are obviously hunting starting pitching with what's going on, and that's what they got in the return for Rafael Devers in the trade. But like I said, when you compare the two pieces of this, what the Giants gave up and what we would have to give up, it's very, very um, different ends of the spectrum here because I don't feel like the Giants ended up giving up that much to the Red Sox to be able to entail justifying that trade, but that's a heck of an in division tax. That's all I'm gonna say. So it's very crazy to me that that was the asking price, but. Let's say that was on the table or even discussed or how it is negotiated. It's interesting to see that the Blue Jays are in on a bat like Rafael Devers, trying to bring them to Toronto to be able to offset this lineup and get us some more power, which has been doing better over the last few weeks, as many of you known. Um, Obviously, he had more power in the game last night, which we will talk to as well. But I think it's intriguing the fact that the Blue Jays actually were in on this at all and talked it out because that is a big piece of a trade and a blockbuster if the Blue Jays do pull that off, even with those names going back and forth. So let's talk about last night. I want to talk about how Chris Bassett ended up really, really digging in last night. But before the game, we had all sorts of transactions, not trades, but the Blue Jays had all sorts of things going on to make up, I'll just say, pitching fun in this whole thing. Paxton Schultz and Justin Brill joined the team. Eric Swanson was DFA'd, so I guess we'll find out in a few days if he slips back down to Buffalo or if he's going to be on another team somewhere in the majors. And then the big one, Bowden Francis was placed on the 15-day IL with a shoulder impingement. Um, I hope that he gets better because if that's what's been causing his control issues, that would make a lot more sense than he just lost it, especially the other night when he was on the mound. He was cruising and then all of a sudden just could not throw the ball over the plate. So maybe there was really something to that whole mess there that he has a health issue that is preventing him from doing a good job on the field. And if that's the case, that's actually at least an easier one for things to get fixed with. He just needs his rest, needs to get back. Hopefully, there's not anything too crazy going in there causing the impingement in his right shoulder. Hopefully, he bounces back and is as strong as he was because we would need him down the stretch here because pitching's always the premium in what every team is hunting. So I thought it was kind of crazy that Swanson was DFA'd. I maybe it's the Teoscar connection. I was hoping for other things. He did so good for us right out of the gate, and then obviously had problems. So let's talk Bassett because this game was a bear last night as the Blue Jays win 5-4 to improve their record of 39-33. They're still 3 games out of first place behind the now Tampa Bay Rays leading us by half a game, and the New York Yankees still leading the division, but they got dusted last night too. So just saying. Anyway, um, Bassett seemed like he had to really work for this one yesterday. That's why I'm using the Duggan term. Um, it just seemed like the Diamondbacks were very close on a few occasions to really running open this score, taking it home for themselves. 3 earned runs for Bassett, 6 innings pitched, 5 strikeouts, and only a walk. But 3 earned runs near the end of his outing. Went through them no problem the first 3 innings. Second turnaround lineup. Bassett did have some struggles, but the Diamondbacks were just finding ways to get hits. And Bassett did a very good job of scattering those around to the point where he obviously did not get touched up too badly. Few key strikeouts when he needed them to keep things close. And that's the story for Bassett last night. Brandon Little finally got touched up for a earned run. It's been a bit since he did. And then the bullpen locked it down yesterday, and Jeff Hoffman picks up his 6th win of the season. I just think that's crazy too, and I guess that's what happens when you blow a few saves. But it was nice to see him come out in the ninth. Yeah, the top of the ninth, and he walked a guy, but he obviously did not allow any hits or anything. But let's talk offense because the offense is the story of this game, and Vlad Jr. Wow. If I hope last night is a sign of things to come because he was heating up last night. Right at the bat, Barger hits a double to start off the game. Right after that, Vladdy hits a screamer, another double, back-to-back doubles give the Blue Jays their first run. It was very intriguing, especially with this new lineup configuration. I think that this is going to vastly help. You're giving a chance for Addison Barger in this 2 spot between Bo and Vladdy. A very great chance to get some fastballs, which he has been mashing. He's got all the right things going on for a 2-hole hitter. He's got some speed. He's not crazy slow or anything like that. He's not crazy fast, but he's definitely about the same speed as Vladdy batting in a 2-hole. Bo Bichette, obviously, batting leadoff has been doing great, batting 270. You got to let him keep doing the do. But getting a chance for 2 runners to be on before Vlad Jr. in the 3 spot, I think that's worth its weight in gold. Maybe I sound like old school baseball at this point, but that one extra at bat in the 2-hole or the 3 spot does not compute to me. It's one different spot in the batting order, and it's going to work. I really think that that needs to remain. And then having somebody that's spraying the ball around at the cliff that he's been doing, Alejandro Kirk, followed by Springer and the rest of the gang after that. But what another weird game this was for the Blue Jays outfield because not only did Jonathan Clase get plunked in the knee and leave this game, but Miles Straw ran into the wall last night and haven't seen any report on what's currently or how he's doing. But he left the game as well. So this was a patchwork in the outfield to make it work last night. 4 different people played center field last night. And as they were moving people around the outfield to try balancing out that load defensively and offensively at the plate while they were trying to dig back into this game because they were trailing going into the ninth 4-3 going in. And this is where the heroics come in, party people. Blue Jays start a conga line at the top of that lineup that I was just talking about. Back-to-back home runs spell win for the Blue Jays. Bo Bichette hits a screaming hard home run, and then we barely had a moment to celebrate. And you get a walk-off home run for the Addison Barger that I had just mentioned now batting the 2-hole, instantly roaring the Blue Jays with a 408-foot 109-mile-per-hour home run, and wow, was he pumped up when he hit this one out. It was very fun to see. He comes out, he gets the quick home run, and he's like, he knew it as soon as he hit it. And he tattooed it. So really cool to see Barger getting his moment, especially, like I said, in his first time batting that high in the lineup. pushing Vladdy down a spot in the lineup says something, I think, for what they think his bat can do. And it's very, very fun to see that Addison Barger's getting a chance to play like he is, because right now his bat's too hot. Got to stay in the lineup, whether he's playing in the outfield or playing third base right now with the outfield injuries will be very interesting to see. But we'll go from there. So, walk-off victory for the Blue Jays has them in the first game of the series against the Arizona Diamondbacks. So, talking tomorrow or today, that is, the Blue Jays will be actually putting Eric Lawler out for a official start today. So, they're hoping that they'll get some length out of him. They have a great chance in that. He's been doing so well. His last 7 games, he's got a 2.8 ERA, or in his last 3 outings, he's only allowed 2 earned runs, and that's in a total of 10 innings. So, for what a would-be 5th starter, go for it. Get him out there. And then hopefully by the time we come around the next spot here, we'll be able to have some other people to play around with here with Max Scherzer pitching tonight for the Buffalo Bisons. So that would be very intriguing to be able to shuffle everything around, especially with Bowden Francis now landing on the injured list. Blue Jays are going to face a familiar face this evening, Eduardo Rodriguez, who used to play with the Boston Red Sox. He is going to be obviously facing this lineup. I was very surprised looking at the matchups list here that there was not a lot more Blue Jays that actually had hit against him. I think it just shows how Rodriguez's career with the Red Sox was plagued by injuries, because an in-division team like this, you would think that the Blue Jays' current core would have faced him a lot more. Vlad and Miles Straw are the ones that collected the most at-bats against Eduardo Rodriguez, 15 each, and Vladdy's batting 333 in those. So very cool. Bo Bichette also has a home run against Eduardo Rodriguez, who has also been struggling in his last 7 games. Last 3 has been definitely a better snapshot, as he's given up 2 earned runs to the Seattle Mariners in 6, Cincinnati, same thing, and the San Francisco Giants lit him up for 4 and 4 innings 3 starts ago. So Blue Jays have a chance to take advantage of the very battered and beaten up pitching rotation for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and they need to keep capitalizing on it like they did last night. So thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you hit those like, share, and subscribe buttons for all your Blue Jays news, rumors, and all the fun stuff we can humanly possibly think of. Make sure you join us on the Jaybird Watching podcast tonight for the live stream. We will be live at 7 p.m. Eastern here on 6/18 Wednesday, just like we will be live every week on Jaybird Watching. Head over to jaybirdwatching.com to find us where all the wonderful fun is for our social media and our live links. Cheers. Go Blue Jays, everybody.